The season is fast approaching, and Liverpool finds itself at the heart of one of the most exciting and crucial periods in its recent history. The transfer window, open since June, has brought with it a whirlwind of rumours, speculation, and negotiations that promise to definitively shape the club's future. Under the leadership of manager Arne Slot, a Dutch strategist known for his modern vision and tactical adaptability, the Reds are building a squad that not only aims to compete but to dominate. And amid this frenzy of movements, one name has set fans' hearts racing: Alexander Isak. But before we get to the phenomenal Swede who could redefine Liverpool's attack, we need to understand the full picture. This is not merely about a simple player swap or minor tweaks to the squad. This is a strategic revolution led by Slot, who is putting into practice an ambitious philosophy that blends youth, experience, and exceptional technical quality. The objective? Simple: to restore Liverpool to its rightful place as a dominant force both in the Premier League and the Champions League. From the moment the transfer window opened, Liverpool have been linked with practically every high-profile player in European football. It's as if the club is on an unrelenting hunt for talent, exploring every possibility to build a team capable of facing any opponent. However, not every name that appears in the tabloids holds the same weight. Some are fleeting speculations, while others gain enough traction to be considered genuine priorities. And this is where Alexander Isak comes in. Isak, currently at Newcastle United, is not just another player linked with Liverpool. He is seen as a key piece to solve a critical problem within the squad: the lack of depth and consistency in attack. With Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz flirting with possible exits, the team urgently needs a forward who can deliver goals in abundance and create chances for his teammates. And when we look at Isak, we see a player who seems tailor-made for Anfield. Let's talk about him, because Isak is not just a striker, he's an artist on the pitch. Imagine a player who combines blistering pace, refined technical ability, and almost supernatural tactical intelligence. That's Alexander Isak. Since arriving at Newcastle, he has quickly established himself as one of the most complete forwards in the Premier League. His ability to find tight spaces, finish with surgical precision, and contribute to collective play makes him a versatile and deadly player. In other words, Isak is exactly the type of player Liverpool need to climb back to the top. But what makes Isak even more special is his adaptability. He has already proven that he can thrive in the Premier League, so the transition to Liverpool would be seamless. Moreover, his humble attitude and professionalism off the pitch make him an ideal fit for a club like Liverpool, where values such as hard work and commitment are held in the highest regard. As TalkSport commentator Jason Cundy passionately stated during a debate, "1,000,000%, they're going to get a massive fee for Isak at Newcastle because he's one of the most sought-after players in Europe. You've seen what he's done in the Premier League, you know he can play there. There's no risk, well, there's always risk, but generally, if he signs for Liverpool, you know he's going to deliver." And here lies the key point: signing Isak wouldn't be just a gamble, it would be a guaranteed investment. Of course, we're talking about an astronomical figure of £120 million, but everything suggests it would be worth every penny. Newcastle will undoubtedly try to squeeze every possible pound out of this deal. Losing such a valuable player won't be easy for them. However, for Liverpool, this transfer could represent the turning point in building an even more dominant team. Just picture Isak wearing the famous red shirt of Liverpool for the first time. The fans packing Anfield, singing their iconic chants as he steps onto the pitch with his characteristic confidence. Now imagine him forming a lethal partnership with Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo, and Diogo Jota. The combination of pace, technical skill, and vision would be devastating for any opponent. He could be the protagonist Liverpool need to start lifting major trophies again, from the Premier League to the Champions League. But Isak's impact goes beyond the numbers. He would also bring a winning mentality and an ambition that resonates deeply with Liverpool's DNA. Players like him have the power to inspire teammates and elevate the level of the entire squad. It would be like giving fresh fuel to an already powerful machine, propelling it to even greater heights. However, before we get carried away dreaming about Isak, we must remember that Liverpool are also busy addressing other areas of the squad. Defense, in particular, is becoming an increasing concern. With the possible departure of Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen, the backline could be left weakened. And although the club have already signed Jeremy Frimpong, a dynamic right-back known for his attacking prowess, there are still gaps to be filled. Furthermore, the midfield is also undergoing significant transformation. Milos Kerkez and Florian Wirtz, two emerging young talents, are close to joining the squad. These are highly strategic signings that promise to raise the technical level of the team. Wirtz, for example, is considered one of the brightest prospects in European football, with vision and creativity that could completely transform Liverpool's playing style. But here lies the big challenge: even by selling players like Darwin Núñez and Jarell Quansah, who are expected to leave soon, Liverpool will still need to balance their finances carefully to avoid compromising other areas of the squad. Tough decisions must be made, and Dutchman Arne Slot will need to show all his strategic wisdom to find the perfect balance. Speaking of Arne Slot, he is the true architect of this Liverpool revolution. Since taking charge, Slot has worked tirelessly to implement his footballing philosophy, which combines possession-based play, high pressing, and quick transitions. He is a manager who values versatility and tactical intelligence, which explains why players like Isak would fit so perfectly into his system. However, Slot's biggest challenge is not just to build a competitive team, it's to ensure that all areas of the squad are balanced. Signing Isak would massively strengthen the attack but could leave the defense in a fragile state. On the other hand, focusing on defenders might ensure greater defensive security but could compromise creativity and effectiveness in the final third. Difficult decisions lie ahead, and Slot will have to demonstrate all his strategic mastery to strike the right balance. For Liverpool fans, the idea of a perfect transfer window involves several key steps: Isak leading the attack, Wirtz orchestrating the midfield with his magic, Frimpong providing depth and pace on the flanks, and a solid defense ensuring stability. If all this happens, we could be witnessing one of the finest seasons in the club's recent history. But of course, there are still many obstacles ahead. Negotiations involving astronomical fees like £120 million are always complex, and Newcastle will do everything in their power to secure the best possible deal. Moreover, there are personal factors to consider, such as whether Isak himself is keen on making the move and adapting to a new environment. But then again, who could resist the opportunity to play for Liverpool, one of the most iconic clubs in the world? The passion of the fans, the majesty of Anfield, and the chance to make history are powerful arguments that would hardly go unnoticed by an ambitious player like Isak. Meanwhile, the eyes of the world remain fixed on Anfield, where every move in the transfer market is being scrutinized under a microscope. The coming weeks will be crucial for Liverpool's future, and all of us are eagerly waiting to see how Arne Slot plans to shape his squad. Will he manage to pull off the perfect transfer window, bringing in both Isak and defensive reinforcements without blowing the budget? Or will he need to sacrifice one area to prioritize another? One thing is certain: regardless of the outcome, Liverpool are determined to remain a global powerhouse in football. And with Arne Slot at the helm, fans can expect an era of innovation, passion, and, hopefully, plenty of silverware. Get ready, because this season promises to be full of surprises, emotions, and, above all, top-quality football. Bring on the signings, the battles on the pitch, and, most importantly, the memorable victories that will be etched into the club's history forever.